Hello everyone, and welcome to Lancelot's Nerd Corner, where I'm proud to present another 6-scale figure review. Today, we're going retro to take a retrospective look at Superman 1978 by Hot Toys, and I'm really glad to be giving you my honest and detailed account of the figure. Now, this figure was originally released all the way back in 2011, a whopping 12 years ago, so I highly doubt it'll be in stock anymore in places you shop at. But the purpose of this retro review is more so to give you an idea of what you can expect if you do decide to pick this figure up today, and to investigate just how well this figure holds up after all this time. Let's start with the standout aspect of the figure, the Christopher Reeve head sculpt, which is of outstanding quality. The likeness is uncanny, and Hot Toys really captured his square jaw, cleft chin, strong brow, and wide cheekbones that naturally contour the cheeks. The quality of the sculpt work and paint application is top tier, with subtle forehead and nasolabial wrinkles, as well as lifelike skin texturing that greatly adds to the realism of the head sculpt. However, it isn't perfect, especially by today's Hot Toys standards, as the eyes of the figure are the most outdated aspect. They lack the glossy pupils that add a lot of depth and realism to their current head sculpts. Additionally, the painted eyes have a tendency to look a little lifeless, which does slightly detract from the head sculpt's overall presentation. The lining of painted lashes on the bottom eyelid also looks a bit weird, but they're only noticeable up close. The hair sculpt is done well, especially at the back where there are more distinct layers, and you just can't ignore how the whole head sculpt is made perfect with the iconic hair swirl on his forehead. To finish up with the head sculpt, I do have to point out one big issue, which is that the neck peg is actually cracked, and as a result, it can't peg in completely. It still manages to be somewhat secure, although that may just be wishful thinking on my part, but it's obvious that it is more at risk than other figures. The loose/cracked neck peg has actually been an issue with this release before, so be sure to consider this if you're thinking of picking it up today. Now let's talk about this splendid figure itself, which I actually got mint in sealed box, or at least that's what the seller told me. The figure's body feels very sturdy and has some weight to it. The entire torso is one fixed solid piece, and the joints are still mostly stiff. The overall physique is quite accurate as well, since Christopher Reeve wasn't the most muscular dude. However, one issue with the body is that the arms cannot sit flush by his side, which is a problem with older Hot Toys bodies. The iconic costume is just as visually striking and appealing as it was on screen. The entire suit is bright blue and made out of a soft, stretchy cotton fabric, with a slight shimmer, just like in the movie. The flexible nature of the fabric means no ugly creases or wrinkles on the costume over time. And smack in the middle of the chest is the bright red and yellow Superman symbol on the diamond shield. It's made out of rubber and unfortunately has faint signs of cracking, but thankfully there are no signs of peeling whatsoever, as it's still firmly planted on the suit 12 years after its original production. Overall, the tailoring is great and accurately tight-fitting, but the stitching seams on the shoulders and inner arms are not screen accurate and look a bit unsightly. The suit is also a little loose around the wrist pegs, so you'll need to pull it down closer to the hands to conceal them. Speaking of which, the figure comes with 6 hands, including a pair of fist, relaxed, and flying gestures. They are the standard soft rubbery hands that Hot Toys uses for even some current day figures, and there is a light coat of skin texturing with subtle details of veins and wrinkles. The bright yellow belt is made out of rubber with a slight shine to it, like in the movie, and there are red belt loops on either side of the buckle that attach to the undies. There doesn't seem to be any weathering on it, but to be fair, that's just how it was in the movie. The iconic red undies are made of the same fabric as the rest of the suit, and also have visible stitch seams at the bottom, which are not screen accurate. Moving down to the boots, they are the same bright red and made out of soft rubber, but unfortunately are not split cut, so they have very limited articulation. There are some nice details though, like the screen accurate V-cut at the top and sculpted creases around the ankles that add realism. Lastly, the red cape is lightweight and is of accurate length to the movie, as it tucks in around the collar and falls just to the top of the boots. It features a bright yellow Superman symbol with a black outline parallel to the chest symbol. There are wires in the sides and bottom, but they are quite thin and not very strong, so while the cape can still be posed, it may take some adjusting and a lot of patience. There are also visible stitch seams around the sides and bottom as a result, which are not seen in the film's costume. I do wish the wires would have been stronger, or even not included at all to achieve a clean drape. Lastly, there's a bit of the cape in front where the wire actually pierced through the fabric and has become somewhat of a hazard when handling the figure, as it's very sharp. This might be due to the quality of Hot Toys' stitch work, or simply time taking its toll. But either way, this is something to look out for if you were to collect this figure today. Now that we've gone over the entire figure, let's go over all the accessories it comes with. The figure comes with the 6 hands we already covered, as well as a display base, a diorama display base, and a kryptonite chain that is exclusive to the limited edition version. The display base is the black oval-shaped base that was the previous Hot Toys display standard. It has the Superman movie logo in the middle with the Superman nameplate in front, and uses a crotch grabber. The diorama base is a beautiful piece that completely elevates the displayability of the figure. It's meant to look like the Fortress of Solitude and seems to be made out of resin, which gives it some weight and allows for more detailed sculpting. The surface texturing is simply outstanding, with every little ridge, crack, and bump making it look like a real piece of a glacier. The paint app is fantastic as well, and nearly convinces you it'll melt if left out of the freezer. It also comes with large icicle pieces that are an opaque blue at the bottom and gradually becoming translucent towards the top. They slot into different areas of the base, but some of them can be difficult to insert, and a few just don't seem to even fit. However, once slotted in, they truly take the diorama to the next level. And to achieve flying poses, the figure uses a clear flight pole with a padded waist clamp. Lastly, the kryptonite chain is an incredibly realistic little accessory that is exclusive to the limited edition release of this figure. The combination of incredible sculpt work and a translucent paint app makes it look like it's glowing when moved around. The back of the kryptonite is also finely sculpted and textured, with impressive attention to detail. And although the chain is made of plastic, the great paint app and weathering could have fooled me. To finish up, let's go over the great articulation of this figure. I do want to note though that since the head sculpt on my figure is not fully attached due to the cracked neck connector, I won't be showing off the head articulation. That brings us straight to the arms, which have lots of bicep swivel, can raise laterally past 90 degrees, can swing forward and backward to around 90, and the double jointed elbows can bend past 90 degrees. The torso can slightly crunch forward and extend backward. The legs have a good amount of thigh swivel, can raise laterally around 80 degrees, can swing forward around 70, but can only swing backward around 20 degrees. The double jointed knees can bend past 90 degrees, and the ankles can only swivel side to side. This Superman 1978 figure is as classic and iconic as the character itself, and I think Hot Toys did this character justice in every way possible. The simplicity of the figure is its strength, with visually striking colors on an already iconic costume that Hot Toys tailored perfectly. Pair that with the Grail level head sculpt and eye-catching diorama base, and this figure won't fail to stand out in any display, even after all this time. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this retro review helpful, feel free to like and subscribe. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.